It's in our hands. We just get to visit. Thank you. Thank you. At this point, I would like to invite the next speaker from the program side. Let me give him a round of applause.
I like to start with the quotes. Your life will be no more than the plans you make and the actions you take. Good morning, my fellow judges, esteemed guests, and my wonderful debaters. My name is Richard Jidoko, and this house is here to propose the motion that you are the architect of your destiny. I'd like to kickstart my meticulously arranged points with the first one. Life is transient. Now, what's the definition of transient? Transient means lasting for a short or abbreviated period of time. This means that, of course, you will not live forever. And in the shockingly short and uncertain amount of time you have to live, you need to be able to live it to the fullest. This means all social, economic, and political boundaries gone. And who introduces us to even the mere concept of boundaries in the first place? Our families and other relatives. A study from the Cambridge University shows that humans live on average from 70 to 80 years. This may seem like a massive amount of time, but if you really put in the ideas and the inspiration you have for your lifetime ahead, it really isn't. To further buttress and solidify my claim, I'd like to give an example. MKO Abiola, one of the most bodacious politicians in our country, who was one of the richest at the time. But once he died, it was all gone. The money, the fame, popularity, all of the riches he left behind for his children, squandered, probably in pubs and gambling. This goes to show that you are the only one that can materialize your ideas. And with all the money, you need to be able to learn and be able to bring those ideas to life. Additionally, I'd like to say nature over nurture. Nature is described as your innate abilities and potentials over developed skills and attributes. This means that the gifts you are granted by God approved when you are first born will definitely take you further and blossom more than introduce skills and abilities along the way. I like to say quotes again. Early to rise, early to bed, early to rise makes a man healthy, wealthy, and wise. This may seem a little bit off topic, but early to bed symbolizes early to start using your gifts that you are given. Early to rise means early for them to start amassing products. To sum up, I like to say that being the architect of your destiny doesn't mean that you become next to Job, Oprah Winfrey, or Whitney Houston. It means letting go of the idea that you can control everything, controlling what you can, and accepting what you can't. Thank you.
What in perspective? Who would have ever thought of it that way? That was beautiful. Can I call on the second speaker for French? The genesis of the all is family. If you didn't exist, would you have a destiny? Every being, from humans to animals, was born to a family. So under the discussion of destiny, this house still believes that your family background is the architect of the destiny. According to an article by Harvard Medical School, by using the data of 45 million plus records of patients, they produced a report which showed that by just analyzing genetic and environmental factors, you can predict the money spent on health and mental issues. This means by being born by a certain individual, being around a certain crowd, or even experiencing trauma from your family, your mental destiny can be determined. There are many reasons why our family's background is the architect of our destiny. Firstly, spend a substantial amount of time around your family. Show me your friends and I'll show you the future. This is a popular quote, and the main idea is not about having friends, but that the people you spend most time around can't determine what's common in life. Secondly, family is always crucial in one's decisions. We've witnessed this many times, from picking a school, a career, a job, to even marriage approval. At many important times in our lives, we seek family opinion or advice. So why then will you question who the architect of your destiny is? Many people have the talents and skills, but not families with the ability to provide the often needed financial assistance. Did you know that Elon Musk's father owned an emerald mine in Africa, South Africa? Or that his business started Amazon with $300,000 donated to him from his rich friends and his parents? Why do you think we know musicians here in Nigeria, such as DWC, more than others like Nikon? It's not because one has the mightier skill, but in a world where money is held in high regard, an individual with a family of strong financial wealth can determine what their destiny becomes. They can. Additionally, many individuals' destiny is determined by the connection their family background brings to them. Bill Gates more started the same table as the CEO of IBM and convinced him to shake the risk as her own company. So my opponent says that nature is better than nurture. Well, nurture, what is it? It's about how they're brought up. So so nature is about who you are. But how do you determine who you are? You observe those around to decide what you become. Lastly, families of royalty, family dynasties, and even families of prestigious educational background often have relationships with people of power. Power creates opportunity, and taking opportunity can design and destiny. Thank you. Wow, right. Getting really excited. Can I call on some teacher from day one and give her a round of applause? Good day, honorable members of judges. Good day, my fellow debaters and researchers and students. Good day, wonderful members of the audience, and good day, everyone. So, my name is Kaisla Gundari, and it has been wonderful proposing the idea that you, not your family's background, is in charge of your destiny alongside my house. Following everything that they have already mentioned, life is a one-man game in which the difficulty of levels increase as we progress. That means that no one's inventory, no one's past accomplishment has an effect on whether you're beating your current level or not. What determines whether you level up or not is yourself, destined for greatness, your determination, because as the famous saying by Benjamin Franklin goes, you can do anything that you put your mind to. Moreover, my teammates spoke about how it is your accomplishment. Thus, I don't think it would be nice of humankind to jump to conclusions when they see a homeless person trying to start a family, because that homeless person's child is capable of training their minds to become one of the next Neymars, one of the next J.K. Rowling, one of the next Stephen Andersons. In conclusion, my house strongly desires that we have been able to convince and convey to you that there is a difference between your family's background and past actions and your destiny. Theirs is set in stone, unchanging, has happened. Yours is a sea of unopened doors, a game in which you can build anything, and you are the only player. Thank you. To wrap this all up, I would like to call the summary speaker from grade school. A round of applause, please. I'm sure that the members of my team have convinced you that your family background is the architect of your destiny. As the first speaker said, your life paths are heavily determined by your lineage. Things like degree of education and health status are determined by who you're born from. I'm sure we all know of the hereditary nature of inherited diseases like coronary heart disease and cystic fibrosis that can severely shorten your lifespan and cut your destiny short. And I don't think someone born into a family of illiterates will pursue higher education. Secondly, as the second speaker said, financial assistance and connections play a strong role in the level of success that someone is able to. A prime example she gave was that of David identity, or as you know him popularly, the pop culture sensation Davido. His father, Fidelity, was rich and affluent decades before his first Sigma Nobel, role in the degrees and high faculty on both the local and international front. Now, are you going to try and tell me that less privileged artists like Icon or Portable have been able to achieve a fraction of the fame and success that Davido has? I don't think so. Now, to conclude, I would like to firmly reiterate that this house opposes the notion that you, not your family background, are the architect of your destiny. Thank you.
All right, I'd like you to celebrate them once again. All right, they take their seat. We'll be giving judges time to collect the score. While they do that, please celebrate them as they return to their seat. Okay. About time to invite Godi as she will take us through her monologue. She promises to be energetic, and trust me, you will find it exciting. Please celebrate Godi as she comes forward.
Oh my God. A minus? Mrs. Clary, you have got to be kidding me. Who the hell gets an A minus? I don't have a B plus for crying out loud. Do you really expect me to receive this paper like a jolly old saying it? No. How can I show this to my mother? She probably got the back. A minus. I'm never going to do this joke. You ruined my life. You had this whole plot against me, didn't you? Didn't you? You were jealous. One of the teachers wanted to hang around me for my intelligence and not you. They told me that you were a selfish loner, but I never listened to them. You were jealous when Glenn Coco gave his favorite teacher's candy cane, but you got squat. You told me that you were weird and scary. You were jealous when Miss Gordon was the best teacher of the year, but she's only been teaching for 1 year. She thinks you're a scrawny old lady who has one string of life left. An old lady who needs to retire before she turns to dust. And don't get me started about that, Mrs. Perry. Stop interrupting me when I'm on rampage. No, stop telling me I have the wrong pen. I don't want to hear about it. What I want to know is why you gave me an A minus. I worked really hard. Wait, did you say I have the wrong test? Oh, right. It says Doris done it on the name line. Your grades. I can explain. You know when people get really angry, yeah, and they start to say things that are not true at all. Yeah, well, I have to.
All right, that was Gandhi with the monologue. Thank you, that was exciting, Gandhi. Next, to thrill you and to get you pumped, we're going to have a dance performance by DWC dance group. Please, rhythm promises to be exciting. Are the dancers ready? Okay, great. So we'll have a dance performance. I'd like to say the next debate session will be between American Christian Academy and the Crying the Redeemer's College, of the Redeemer's Christian College. I hope I got that correctly. I'm not sure, but so that will be coming up next. All right. Shortly, we will have the dancers of the day. Wonderful tips. Oh, very nice. What you done before? Next up, you have American Christian Academy University. Practicing on college. Who does that? American Christian Academy, right? I give them a round of applause. Okay, thank you guys. I'd like to make this very clear to the debaters. It's advisable to accept POI because you stand the chance to lose points if you keep declining POI. Okay, and of course, the judges need to also take note that when POIs are given, it should attract an extra point. Okay, so debaters should so point of information, that's what it means. So the POI would be point of information. Just so we're going to from range to join the judges. Make that the one. Celebrate our song, guys. So, During this session, we'll have a representative from Day with the Man, from Grange, and from the Bell House. You will still have to oversee this session. So representing from the Bell House, if you don't mind, you still need to join this session. Okay, so this is a commonly will be representing Day with the Man as a judge. Please make up your welcome and thanks. So, now because we need 4 judges to make it even, I would like to inform Mrs. Patricia to join them just so that we make it even. Please join the team of judges. Please join the team of judges. So once the judges are ready, we'll get started. So I'll wait for the judges to give us the goal. I just like to say that the whole essence of what we're doing today is to see how well we can boost our intellectual confidence. We've seen that being displayed right here. We've seen all the tenets of HCR, such as your left thinking, your ability to collaborate. We've seen that happening right here. And we hope to see more of such as the program progresses. All right, are the judges ready? Judges? Okay. So we're going to have the first speaker from the proposing team. That would be from American Christian Academy. Please make up your welcome at the church forward.
Mixi Prada, one of the godfathers of modern day fashion and the founder of the Prada fashion brand, once said that what you wear is how you present yourself to the world. My name is Oludabere Oyadero, and good morning, fellow judges and timekeepers. My name is Oludabere Oyadero, and my house is here to propose a motion that school uniforms move individuality. Now, on to my first point. Clothing is the primary form of self-expression. My first point under that is people will judge you by what you wear. True, the saying goes, don't judge a book by its cover. But in reality, people will judge you and make inferences on your character and on your action based on how they think you look. My second point under that is that individuality is built on the concept of social perception. For you to have your individuality, you need to have a third party, someone that can determine what differentiates you from the other person. Your individuality is not for you, it's for a third person to decide. My third point under that is that clothing impacts your character and your actions. If you start to dress like a rebel, you will start to become more rebellious. You are what you wear. And once you start to wear certain clothes, you realize that your actions start to reflect what you're wearing. What you wear on the outside reflects how you feel and think on the inside. My second point is that uniforms are not just clothing. They contain a lot of sense of decorum. For example, when you're giving a uniform, you're giving characteristics on which that uniform is to be worn to properly represent that school. For example, the way you style your hair, the way you speak, the way you stand, and the way you communicate with everyone. My second point on that is clothing is never isolated. When you're giving a school uniform, it's always directly in line to how they want you to style your hair, directly in line to how they want you to speak, directly in line to how they want you to act in the cafeteria. Now, when you're giving all these rules, it leads me to my third main point. Uniforms prevent distinction. When you're giving all these rules, you may act like everyone else in the school. So if your school has like 1,000 students, you may act like the rest of the 1,000 students. I'll take your first of 2 questions. I'm not talking about physics. I'm talking when you wear your uniforms, you're not able to express yourself. You're not really, because you're not able to show what makes you different through the way you look. You see, many people would argue that there are many other ways to express yourself, but in truth, the clothing is the direct way. Now, before I can even decide that I want to talk to you or get to know what you act like, I would look at you and decide if I do want to come here based on how you look and how you dress and my standards of dressing. Now, on to my last point. When you're and you're not allowed to express yourself through dressing, you're forced to be in a cage sort of, and you're not able to learn the art of self-expression. So when you grow older and you get into adulthood, you have a problem expressing yourself. And this is a very serious problem. Imagine you're going for a job interview. You need I'll take a second of the question.
Well, you said that we have a hard time expressing ourselves when we get older. Well, the expression is something from within, and my duty cannot change where I feel.
What I'm saying is that when you're giving specific ways to act, you should stay in that school long enough and you're drilled to act in that way for 6+ years. You would have a problem adjusting to the real world. And as I was going to say, I'm talking about the actions in which you're supposed to wear that uniform. It's not just a piece of clothing. It is a set of rules that you're given. How to style your hair, as I said, how to speak, in which accent you use. And that leads me to my last point. When you go for a job interview, you're here to convince your employer on why you're different from every other person that is applying for that job. You need to express why you're special. You can't just act in the basic ways. Cross the line, don't speak. I have another question, there's no more time. So you can't just give basic things. You need to stand out by what you wear, how you speak, and the way you act. All these things are developed when you're allowed to express yourself. Thank you for listening to my speech today. I hope I've been able to convince you on why screen doesn't go to the Thank you.
All right, thank you very much. The participant from I need to make this very clear. Please, let's take notes because POI isn't a banter, so it's not a banter. You only have 10 seconds to raise your POI, and please, POI shouldn't be raised in quick succession. So what I mean is, raise a POI 10 seconds. Don't forget, the debater has the floor, and you are encroaching into the debater's time. So it's 8 seconds, right? Yeah, 8 seconds, not 10 seconds. I stand to be corrected. 8 seconds for POI. And please, it's not meant to be banter. Just raise your POI within 8 seconds, and don't do that in quick succession. Right? Hope we're clear on that. Right? Great. So, can we invite the first speaker from Christ the Redeemer College? The opposing.
I was looking for myself. I don't.
It's so
Sorry about the power cut. Timekeeper, you would have to start the timer, all right? Yes, so just a moment, please. Okay, we're waiting for the camera to get rolling. Just a second. Okay, judges, are we good? Great. Are you ready? Are we good? All right. So your time starts now.
I was looking for myself, and I was asking everyone except myself, question which I and only I could have answered. Who am I? Good day, panel of judges, accurate timekeeper, co-debaters, ladies and gentlemen. I am Mufiki Jemima, representative of Christ Redeemer College, and I stand here to oppose the belief of the House that school uniforms remove individuality. The quality or character of a particular person, or the thing that distinguishes them from others, is what I call individuality. Like the question I asked earlier, who am I? Everyone has something unique in them, but it just needs to be brought out. It just needs to be discovered. And once you can answer the question of who you are, you will be able to know your qualities and your character. The way someone acts around others, whether they wear the same school uniform or not, you can still appear different. Smiling. I'm the only one in class answering questions. I have created an image for myself where everyone else is clones. Who you are is much more important than what you wear on the outside. It is much more internal. Bringing me to the fact that uniforms are just for uniformity. It has nothing to do with our individuality. Students still have their personality that expresses who they are much more than what they wear. The uniform sets a student identity for a student in front of a school so that they can take pride in it when confronted by other schools, and that's all it does. The way God created us, you are the only you God has created last time I checked. There is nobody that can be like you. Then who is a man? What exactly is a man doing for? To dictate whether my individuality is being removed or not. Some people say the way you dress is the way you will be addressed. Please, your individuality is what distinguishes you. Whatever other people think or not has nothing to do with your individuality. And I'm standing right here in front of you because I've been selected by my school to go on this debate. I am showing myself the quality I have as a good debater. That's what I'm showing right there. So I have been wearing my school uniform for 5 years straight. I've been a student of Christ Redeemer College for 5 years, and that has not removed my individuality. It has not changed the fact that I'm a good debater. It has not changed the fact that I'm a writer. It has not changed the fact that I am who I am. And I take the game absolutely nothing to do with your individuality. It cannot remove your individuality. It does not have magical powers. It cannot do anything. It is just a clothes. Everybody is wearing the same clothes, but you are all different. You have a name. He has a name. We all have a name. We all have the background that we're coming from. That does not make a school uniform removing who you are. You have been the same person that you have been. One of your members had come here to debate. He is a different person. How many years has he been in this school? That is to tell you that he's the same person he has been, because the school has seen something unique in him, and this is always for the first time it's going on. So please, I find it very absurd for someone to come here and tell me that school uniforms remove your individuality. Please, how can a school uniform? It's just a clothes. How can it remove your individuality? It can't remove anything from you. Thank you.
Thank you. The person comes from Christ Redeemer College. Okay, I like to just draw this point of observation. Choice of words is very important, and we must be careful with our choice of words. All right? Okay. Having said that, let's make welcome the second speaker from American Christian Academy. Please make up your welcome as you take forward.
afternoon, everyone. My name is Interlude, and today I will be supporting the motion that full uniform during individuality. First, I would like us to get familiar with some terms. What does this mean? According to Oxford Dictionary, one of the most credible dictionaries in the world, remove makes you take away, and then to subtract. Nobody says your individuality is fully gone when you put on a uniform. It is just subtracted. She mentioned her school so many times in her speech, meaning that she started to think as a community. Also, my cultivator said that school uniform is clothing. Your school uniform is not just clothing. School uniform is a decorum. School uniform has to do with the way you act, what you do with your hair, what you wear on your feet, the way you write, the way you talk, the way you speak. School uniform is not just clothing. School uniform is for regulation. And regulation, and when you are regulated, you have become the same as everyone else. Now, she also stated that she has been talking about individuality, but one thing that we should not confuse is individuality and identity. All the things that she stated were identity. My identity is her identity was a writer, and everything that she stated. Individuality is what distinguishes you from another person. Now, when you're wearing your school uniform, I will take your first of the questions. Said there's a difference between individuality and identity. My identity as a claim is I'm a writer. The way I write is different from the way someone else writes. Someone else writes, which is my individuality, which is what distinguishes me from the rest. Okay. Okay. Moving on. Your school uniform subtracts from your individuality. You are not allowed to express yourself the way you want. Clothing is one of the major ways of self-expression. If someone walks into a room and does not look at any one of you, how will they know who you are? How will they know who you are without looking at your clothing? I will take you a second. Said, how would they know who I am looking at my clothing? Who I am is not my clothing. Because they look at my clothing, all you will see is that I'm a student of so school. Who I am is different from my clothing. That's what I'm trying to say. But the way that the person sees you. You also stated that who will distinguish you? About nobody takes away from your individuality. But the fact remains, I hope I have been able to speak for myself. Thank you.
Wow, that was very good indeed. Can we welcome the next speaker from the opposing side, Christ Redeemer College. Thank you.
That is wrong. Clothes don't make a man. Erasmus, a great Dutch humanist and theologian, once said. Like my chief speaker said, the one question that cannot be answered by anyone else but yourself is who am I? And what is a mere piece of clothing to be used as a criterion to define who I am? Good morning, respected chairman. My esteemed panel of educators, ever precise timekeeper, ladies and gentlemen. I am Ojone Faith Adegbis. A representative of Christ Redeemer College, and I stand here to consolidate the points of my chief speaker in the opposition of the motion who uniform remove individuality.
my fingerprints, and that's of praise. Biometrics. My genetics are different from her. My DNA can never be matched to anyone else's. That's what makes me an individual. And what can you say? Why would you ever say that what I put on, my school uniform, can define me? No two persons can feel, think, or act the way it acts alike in any way. We can all observe that they act differently. People act differently. Just because I have a school uniform on does not mean I will do the same things my chief speaker or my summer speaker will do. In school, there are and departments consist of individuals in what those various departments have to offer. It could be science and technology, humanities, or business. And you cannot say that just because we all look alike, just for uniformity, that I will suddenly lose interest or I will share the same things someone else wants to do, if that makes sense. Sorry. Sorry.
Essentially, can we welcome the summary figure for the proposals at American Christian Academy?
Good morning, everybody. All protocols duly observed. Before I get to summarizing my point, I just want to quickly say the other group keeps saying that, what you wear isn't going to define who you are. We never said that. We're just saying that it's going to remove from your individuality. If because of having a hard time knowing what remove is, I can give you a basic primary school example. You have 3 apples, okay? Your parents removed 2 of your 3 apples, you're left with 1. I never said, it's defining who you are or anything like that. This is just basic, knowledge, just informing you guys. Now, let me get to my point, okay? We were all created differently with different weaknesses and different strengths, right? Now, individuality has to be cultivated over time. But with our school uniform telling us what to say, when, how to behave, the accent and the way you speak, with our uniform just telling us everything we're meant to do, how am I meant to figure out what I truly want to do? Growing up, we don't have to be like, but school says I have to wear this every day. What if I don't like wearing this? What if I want to figure out what I like to wear, what I want to do? Now, based on what I'm wearing and based on my choice of accessories, you can kind of tell, I'm into fashion, I'm into, arts and stuff. But if I'm wearing a basic uniform, not able to express, how are you going to know that? If I had to wear a uniform, how am I meant to know what I want and what I like? Now, so, Monday, school uniform, literally, it's just a blank canvas. It's just a blank canvas. Now, by expressing myself, by expressing my individuality through my own option, I could choose to do that through clothing. If I do that, that is my way of painting the empty canvas. I want to use my clothing. I want to use my choice of expression to do that. I want to paint the canvas my way. Now, another point I have is the fact that people's perception of this time
Sorry guys, this let's be quiet. There's nothing I'd like us to know. This is a learning process for everyone. And I would like to remind our debaters, a debate is an intellectual conversation. You can't insult your opponent. We must maintain decorum. I won't say more than that. So I invite the summary speaker of Christ Redeemer College. Over to you.
I, where you as a identified human solid, we share to oppose belief that this house has that school uniform moves individuality. As I would love to summarize the point my fellow debaters have raised over the last couple of minutes. First of all, school uniform is just a mere fabric. And my identity is who I am. It doesn't take away an individual's values and personalities. Ladies and gentlemen, school uniform just means of identification. It differentiates my identity. For example, I have an identity. My identity is obey the user say. And I have a representation, which is my identification, which is Christ Redeemer College. Please, let's not mix up the two. School uniform cannot change my personality. My level of openness, extraversion, and conscientiousness cannot be dictated by my school uniform. Ladies and gentlemen, if I'm open not because of my school uniform, and if I am conscientious, I'm not conscientious because of my means of identification. All this about my individuality, and as my fellow debaters have tried to prove, they all do not or are not affected by both. Talent differs from individual to individual. School uniform cannot remove an individual talents. The development of talent builds an individual's mindsets. And ladies and gentlemen, when I like someone, I can run, I can sing, and all of these are my talents. And all of this differentiate me from others, and that's my individuality. The school uniform cannot take away those talents. Me, even when it's uniform. There's a thin line between identity and identification. My identity is who I am, and what makes me me. So I need to be this thing.
All right, it's been quite a day, it's been enlightening. I'd like to thank the debaters from Christ, the Redeemer College, and from American Christian Academy. Thank you very much for such a wonderful presentation. Please celebrate them as the return. Celebrate. Okay. Now I want to invite everyone to job. So in that case, the next session will be just things that Nobel House will present, and they'll get scores on the basis of their presentation. But before they come up on stage, I'd like to call on Justin for his monologue while the judges collect their scores.
It is shocking when the person in your thoughts suddenly appears before you. I know this because I'm doing it right now. And you look mortified. How did I know I was in your thoughts? I knew because I know everything now that I'm there. And I know you killed me. You always wanted to for a long time. I saw it in your eyes. I never said anything because I wasn't allowed to. And we both just knew it. Wait. Don't run. They will notice. Just listen. I understand how it feels to be a bully. The pleasure of making others feel like no. I remember the approach you said to me. You only wanted me to die. You only wanted to be happy, but make me feel sad. And now I am dead, and you're scared of me. You always wanted it, but instead of getting the pleasure, you only blame yourself for my death, and you're going through the same thing I went through. So you were brave. Yeah, but the truth is, you're just a little scared child who finds validation in what you know that people pay. Just to feel good about yourself. You caused it. You caused the suicidal assignments. You told me I was a mistake. You made mockery of me in front of the whole school. You made me the shadow of my former self. I shouldn't have listened to you. I should have stood for myself. I should have believed in myself. You made me think of a quiet place like this. It is too quiet here. There is no one to talk to. You caused it. You caused the suicide thoughts. You caused my death. And I promise, I will always want you. Surely.
All right, guys. Please celebrate Duncan. That presentation, we succeed against bullying, and they want to is a school that doesn't condone bullying. We preach against it, we talk about it. You can see it inscribed on our wall. Waterman is against bullying. All right? So I'm going to invite representatives from the Girl House to please step forward. Please celebrate them for the patients for coming. Please celebrate them. Thank you very much. Slide over this section, then that should be replaced. We will get started. All right, judges, are we ready? Are the judges ready? Okay. So can we have the first speaker from Nobel House College? Please make out your welcome as we a lot of applause for the first speaker.
Good day, everyone. My name is Father Dumila, and I am chief speaker for my house. With me here, my second Maria Madeleine, and our coming speaker, Christian Adesua. And this house states that there are no bad children but bad parents. My teammates and I are here to propose this statement. First and foremost, what exactly is parenting? Parenting is a skill and ability of raising our children. Therefore, the topic, there are no bad children but bad parents, speaks on the fact that some parents are generally incapable of raising their children to be properly functioning individuals in society. Also, that some parents are bad examples for their children. With that said and done, first point I'd like to speak on is neglect and abuse parents. Neglect and abuse parents. There is nothing in this world that can make up for the love and affection that a parent shows to their child. No material, no device, no PS5 that can make up for love and affection that a parent shows to their child. But uninvolved parents don't show that love and affection to their child. Therefore, the children of those parents go out into the world and search for that love through external sources. Be it toxic relationships, be it bad friends, or any other thing. They just go out and look for the love and affection that they were deprived of at their home. neglectful parents, children of neglectful parents, more often than not, have a lack of self-control, are less competent than their parents. On another note, abusive parents are most commonly narcissistic. What's a narcissistic parent though? Narcissistic parent is a parent who is a narcissist is a person who has an inflated image of their own importance, trouble developing relationships due to their own toxic behavior, and a general lack of empathy. Narcissistic parents often abuse the parenting role by appointing themselves as the primary decision maker in the child's life, barely taking into consideration the child's and what. Narcissistic parents lead out emotionally troubled children who goes and seek for the freedom and validation. They were deprived of our goals, threats, and outcomes. Narcissistic parents also lead out mentally ill children, illness such as anxiety, depression, and dissociative identity disorder, among many others. Furthermore, the UNICEF has reported a high case of child physical abuse in Nigeria. About 90% of children have experienced physical abuse in their households. Also, the Child Protection Hub has done a research which states that 4.8% of people, within that 51.6% females and 48.8% males, have experienced some form of physical or household abuse in their home, with the age ranging between 12 and 18 years old. The second point I'd like to speak of is the protection of play. Children when they're going through complex emotions, it often shows up in their play. So giving them space and time to go outside and play with their parents allows them to work through these complex emotions such as pain, fear, or loss, while still being able to act like a child. But some parents don't give their children space and freedom to go outside and play and have fun with their parents. And that will be toll on their heart, that will be toll on their mental health, especially because play helps in reducing the effect of negative or prolonged exposure to stress. Last point I'd like to speak on is psychological abuse. Just like physical abuse, parents are using psychological abuse on their children by influencing their pain, comparing them to other, whether it's family friends or whether it's their same thing. And just basically analyze them. John Luke Mara once said that the worst thing a parent can say to a child is the lie that they later find out about you. Children trust their parents completely and wholeheartedly. So if a parent lies to a child will pick up those habits and go and practice them outside. As they feel that if their parents cheats, why can't they? And it could also cause them to lose the trust that they have in their child and be not able to talk to them about problems they're experiencing outside, which they should be able to speak to their parents about. This causes them to display rebellious activities outside and they have no one to talk to about the problems that they are facing. A good example of a product of narcissistic parenting and psychological damage is in the case of the Mendes brothers murders. On August 20th, 1989, Lyle and Eric Mendes murdered both their parents, Jose and Mary Mendes, for the following reasons. Lyle and Eric had been exposed to physical, mental, and sexual abuse by both their parents, by their father, Jose. And their mother knew about this abuse, but did not. This caused them to display rebellious activities, practice rebellious activities outside, such as gang banging, drug dealing, and stuff like that. So then they later came to murder their parents because they expected to expose the abuse that their father had exposed, that their father had inflicted on them. And they were afraid that he would come for them, so they went for him first. Do you think in a situation where these parents had been properly made their children, this that will happen?
That was really nice. I actually quite agree with that mission. Without any further ado, I would like to call on the second speaker from Noble House College.
If a flower does not grow, you blame the flower, or you take the soil, the sunlight, or you blame the farmer itself. Good day, everyone. My name is Miriam Abdullah. This house says there are no bad children, but bad parents, and I strongly agree. Here are my points to back up the arguments. Contribution to gender stereotype, too much freedom, and early moment statement. Before I proceed, what is bad parenting? Bad parenting is not only a single act, but a series of acts that can harm the child. Physical abuse, sexual abuse, emotionally, and neglect are some of the most damaging behavioral traits that most of us equate to bad friends, according to UNICEF. Contribution to gender stereotypes. Parents can unconsciously reinforce stereotypes about gender, race, disability, culture, or ethnicity. The way a child decides to behave towards a particular person or situation is based on how they have been parented at school. As we all know, the home is the first agent of socializing. For example, thinking of gender stereotypes. A girl might be encouraged to play indoor with dolls, while a boy is encouraged to play outdoor. While it teaches the girl to be a caregiver at an early age, it also reduces her ability to learn physical, social, or cognitive skills. A boy, on the other hand, who is given toys and a gun to play with, is being encouraged to partake in physical and aggressive activities with other caregivers, with other males or people. And this promotes an unhealthy expression of masculinity. Parents tend to have the habit of making up for their negligence by turning their children with gifts. While this damages their development as well as how they relate to society. It dumbfounds me when I see parents give their children toys that contain violence and sexualized stories. Tell me, what type of parents will expose their children to such recreational activities? The truth to be told is that every toy has a purpose and every game has a target. So when a child is being exposed to violence, whether by gaming, what they see, or what they hear, that child will most certainly terrorize society. Now to my next point. Too much freedom. It's an observed fact that children love to be free. They're like birds who can excel when they are caged. But too much freedom is dangerous. Some parents make up the excuse that children learn better on their own. And this, I believe, is an excuse that parents who are not involved in the upbringing of their children. If a child goes astray, or if a child goes off track, why blame the child when you can blame nurture? Thank you. You give her a proper round of applause. Hello, yeah, I would like to call the summary speaker of the House Court. Thank you.
Good morning, everybody. My name is Christina Dasoya, and I'm the summary speaker for this closing side. Now, my first and second speaker have valiantly and with no remorse whatsoever made it clear that there are no bad children but bad parents. And before I summarize what they said, I'm going to begin with a rebuttal. Now, as expected, obviously, our oppositions stated that the society is to blame for all of the things that bad children do. Now, when children make mistakes in life or they mess up in anything, it is not the society's blame, it's their parents, because that's their first point of contact. Of course, they want to lay the blame at the doors of the society, but this is very wrong. Now, moving on to summarizing what my first and second speaker said. Now, my first speaker stated that parental negligence can cause children to go and seek love in places that are not good and that will make them develop bad habits. Now, this can really affect a child because when they don't have the love that they need from their parents, it will make them feel very unwanted. She also mentioned that deprivation of play can affect a child from developing cognitive skills, and this will affect the way that they socialize with people. She also mentioned that psychological damage is not something that can be fixed in the society. When people develop stuff like anxiety and depression, nobody can come and say, okay, let me take this away from you because it's already become a part of them. Now on to what my second speaker said. My second speaker stated that gender stereotype can cause the epitome of what somebody is supposed to be like. Now, this is a form of child abuse because it's not letting the child express themselves well. Now, we all know what's best for our children, and if you're not ready to take care of the child, please stay off. Thank you.
That was very, very good. Can we give a round of applause to them as we go back to the I want you to join time to collect their results. Come on, next performer. What do you call it wrong?
This is it, okay. This is it. Almost memory has finally come through. Cables are going to snap. I'm going to 400 of stories. I'm running out of air. I need to get out of here. It's nothing to address. Where was my emergency bags? What is this blue one? Oh! Thing! You know what? I'm just going to correct all of them. What is happening? I don't want to be hearing sirens or something. Help! Help! Anybody! I'm not in here! Help! Help! My phone. Charging in the car. Come on. Oops. It's so cold. I'll go by the names. Oh, this guy. What's going to know I'm in here? It's my Rosen Talks. Stay off this whole building. No, this is a true words. I've been a nightmare. I'm awake. This is how it ends for me, right? Never get married. Finish my Snake collection. Fulfill my lifelong dreams of becoming a fortune cooking writer. Meeting Yanis. Oh God. Come and take me. I'm already here, the angel singing. They come again. Wait. That doesn't sound like ancient. That sounds like a blood fudge. Help! Help! I'm doing something here. Help! Something there for days. Say, man. 5. No, don't be 5 minutes. See, so from now on, things said.
All right. Thank you very much, Chinta, for that wonderful performance. So we're coming to the end of today's event. We just want to give the judges time to complete the final score. Then we'll announce the first position as well as the runner-up. Right? So all the judges get their scores. I'm going to invite them to exercise patience. Okay. But before the judges announce the score, I just call up Mr. Sam to just give a vote of thanks and I'll get the scores across to him and we will be fine. Thank you for your patience. Thank you for your time. There will be a group photograph with all the debaters. Okay? A group photograph with all the schools that they are representing before we leave. Please take notes. Please help me welcome Mr. Sam, the representative of the Senior District School. Please welcome Mr. Sam. Good morning, everyone. I look lost here. All right. I just want to take this time to say some thank you to everybody. First, on behalf of the principal, would like to say thank you to the English department for this wonderful, beautiful occasion. You are all witnessing that this is a very beautiful occasion. Please put them together for English department and led by Mrs. Pateda. Thank you so much. We also want to say thank you to all our guests from different schools. I'll try to remember all the schools. American Christian Academy, thank you for coming. Great School, thank you for coming. Nobel House College, thank you so much for coming. We appreciate it. It has been a very beautiful debate. Sorry, Christ wisdom. Christ Redeemer. Thank you so much. Apologies for that. So we appreciate you all. Thank you for the debate. I think it's been a while that I saw something as beautiful as what I witnessed today. It was quite powerful. Now, at this point in time, we'd like to say a big thank you to the audience. Dear Waterman students, you are the best. You are the very best. Thank you so much for putting yourself together and being a very powerful audience. Ladies and gentlemen, I have some other audience that are watching outside here. They are my year 7 students. Please put your hands together for the year 7 students. They are somewhere else working and partaking of this program, but not here physically. So we appreciate each and every one of you. Thank you to the interludes that we had today from different individual students. Thank you so much. Like Mrs. Pacheda said, for me personally, I have learned a lot. It's been a learning curve on different issues, subject of debate. Thank you so much, everyone, and have a safe drive back to your respective home. Okay, the judges are still compiling the scores, but before we get the scores, I'd just like to ask any of the judges if they have any points of observation or comments. So if you've got, okay, Mrs. Amadi from Spring.
Thank you very much.
Wow, the Clyde lights. Good morning, school. When I say school, of course, you're all representing your different schools. It's been a very keenly contested debate, which was supposed to have gone the parliamentary way. Every participant out here really did a lot of job convincing the judges. And I would say that some research was carried out by everyone, which is really good. But you spoke from the bowels of your stomachs. Let me speak the Acadian language. I'd like to point out a few observations. This was supposed to go the parliamentary way, which presupposes that you start with this house, you introduce members of your team, and you don't go repeating protocols like some schools did. So it was the rubrics or criteria was clearly stated out in the letters of invite. So I would advise that going forward, when you come to debates of this nature, please stick to the parliamentary system of debates by saying this house is, this house advance, this house field maintains, and you go on like that. Then a speaker here, one of the speakers, derailed from the best practices of public speaking by involving others. You don't involve someone outside your team. You don't. It's not drama. So under comportments, it will count against you. My next observation is on the first speaker from Nobel House. You meant to say socialization and not socialism. Socialism is a concept, is a term. Yes, you said socialism instead of socialization. Please take that correction in good faith. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, Ms. Ramani. The judges, any other observation from any of the judges before we announce the score? Please, we will have this conversation further with the judges and with the school, but I'd like to particularly thank you for coming. If there are no observations, I will call on Mr. Sam to announce the score. Right? Please, let us welcome Mr. Sam.
Okay. Thank you once again. So here we have the cumulative score as presented by the able judges. But just before I announce that, I left out a thank you to our able anchor in the person of Kadisha and Oluyinka Olora. Thank you so much. Now, in fifth place and with 500 points, please put your hands together for Nobel House College. And in fourth place with 529 points, CRC. All right. And then the second runner-up with 538 points, we have American Christian Academy. In second place, and with 549 points, and also in first place with 557 points. All right, in second place with 549 points, And in first place with 557, can you hear me? Can you hear me? Okay, I was just making sure that. We have 549 points for the first runner-up, which is in second place, and 557 points in first place. And the first position goes to there was a man called
I'd like to call on all the debating schools to come forward. Come forward for the job. Debating school, yes. And you come forward as well. Debating school, you come forward with the representatives of all the schools. Please come forward for a group job. Now we have all the debating schools. Please come forward.